Hello, everyone. It's me, Thomas Renee, the head of voice and speech at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. First thing I want to say is I haven't posted in a while, and we are in a tough time right now with COVID going on, and who knows what's going to be happening in the near future and long-term future. And I just hope everyone watching is well and safe and taking all the necessary precautions for you, your loved ones, and everyone around you, and everyone you come in contact with. So that being said, please take care of yourself. And furthermore, I am so excited to be in my new studio in upstate New York. You can see it's very, very unfinished, so there's lots of work to do. But I'm just excited to have a personal space to really work separate now that I'm working remotely currently. So anyways, this video is going to be on onsets. So my career started in music and vocal performance, and it kind of went the speech route, but now it's coming back to music and vocal performance, which I'm so excited about because that's my first love. And so I thought I would start making some videos on the singing voice specifically, just to tune up my own vocal folds and hopefully engage with you all to get you practicing. So I want to talk about vocal onset. And really, vocal onset just means how you are starting to make sound. And this particular video is on a particular onset called glottal onset. Some of you might have heard this. I know early on in my singing career and my training, the glottal attack was the thing to be weary of. And just so that I don't know if there's really a medical distinction between a glottal attack versus a glottal onset, but from my perspective, and if there is, then I will do more research and I'll get back to you on that. But my personal perspective and experience has been a glottal attack is really a really aggressive glottal onset that could be dangerous if done a lot. And even just doing it once, I know if I have massive onset, and we're gonna look at what that is, my vocal folds immediately start to respond with extra mucus to protect them, and it gives an almost an immediate feel that this does not feel right, this is not healthy and not sustainable. So instead of a glottal attack, we're going to do a very, very light version, which is so necessary for so many different singing styles, and that is a glottal onset. So before we jump in, I'm just going to share my screen here just so we can orient ourselves to what I'm talking about. So here we have, you'll see a superior view of a normal larynx. And what that means is I'm going to pretend to put a camera in my mouth and down my throat a little bit. And what you're going to see is this is a little piece of art, not an actual image or not an actual picture of the top of the larynx. And so this camera, my made up camera, is looking down into my throat, and we're seeing a bunch of things. And what I'm just going to point out is these white bands right here. And those white bands are the vocal ligament, and they're the edges of the vocal fold. So those are the things that really start to make sound. When we're talking onset, that's what we're looking at right now, is how do we bring those things together so sound can start, and what is the quality of sound in space after a particular physical action inside of the throat. I'm going to change the image just because I think it's a little clearer. I'm going to take away all of this anatomy. I'm going to take away the soft tissue. I'm going to take away the muscle. I'm going to go to another piece of art. And I love this image. This is just the cartilages of the larynx. We do have a little bit of muscle here. I'm not going to talk too much about that for this video. But that white band that we were just looking at in the other image, we have two of them right here. And again, these are the vocal ligaments. Those are the things, again, that are going to be coming together to start to interrupt the breath and start to create sound. And what a glottal onset is. Glottis, let me start there. Glottis is the name for the space between the vocal folds, or the vocal ligaments right here. And so a glottal onset is when the vocal folds come together, press a tiny bit. I'm going to say a tiny bit. They could press a lot, but that's the glottal attack from my perspective. And we're going to press a tiny bit, and then the air is going to build up some pressure underneath it, and the vocal folds are going to pop apart, creating this very crisp, clean, popping onset sound that starts the voice. And so once again, the vocal folds come together, air builds up some pressure underneath them, and then they pop apart. We have been doing this since we were little kids. And I want you to pretend like there's a little kid in the room, or that you are a little kid, and you're just going to drop very, very low stakes. You're just going to drop something accidentally, and you're just going to say, uh-oh, uh-oh. And I want you to feel, as you engage with that, uh-oh, that you might get a sensation inside of the throat. Uh-oh. And before the and before the oh, we get this tiny little popping sensation. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Vocal folds come together. Uh-oh, uh-oh. So I just want to be incredibly clear that I'm using this little game so that I said low stakes, but that it is so gentle, so smooth, so satin, so silky, and that we're not getting that really hard pressure of the vocal folds, of the throat closing with potentially other muscles, other parts of the anatomy coming together, because that's when we're going to really put ourselves disposed to lots of damage, and we just don't want to do that. Though I'd also say those people who are like, don't do a glottal onset at all. I'm like, but we do it all the time. One, we've been doing it since we were kids. And if we go back to our accent work, there's accents all across the world that use glottal stops, these glottal pops, these glottal onsets all the time when they're speaking, and they don't have any vocal damage. So I don't think we have some evidence base to say that it is 100% bad for you. And I think there's a way that we can approach it that is going to open up vocal expressivity and open up to potential genres of music. So let's just come back to our uh-oh, uh-oh, and see if you can get into the kinesthetic awareness of the little popping inside. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Let's take away the uh-oh and just uh, 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 uh. And see if you can make it even lighter and even lighter. I'm afraid that you're not going to be able to hear me with this particular audio system that I'm using, but I'm going to get lighter and lighter, and you just keep exploring that for yourself. Uh, 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 uh. Now we're going to apply it to some singing. I'm just going to turn on original sound, so we might get a lot more background noise. Hopefully that's not disruptive, but I'll watch this back before I post. So I'm just going to do a quick 5-tone scale. You might have heard of staccato, the Italian word for just kind of quick. This kind of quick action of the sound. And I'm going to take us into an exercise that is using a staccato, but really we're working on a glottal onset. Really quick popping of the vocal folds, very, 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 very light. And we're going to try that on different pitches. That's going to sound something like, feel free to go up the octave if you need to. Notice if you're getting nice and tense, if you're really trying to focus, and I want you to keep that nice and light. Take a break if you need to. Relax, release the body, release the neck, move the head around if you need to, and just keep honing in onto that tiny, tiny light sensation of the popping vocal folds. I'm going to bring it down one more time. We don't need to do the full range for this video. Excellent. And one more exercise, because normally, I mean, yes, staccato happens, right? But we're probably not singing staccato that much unless we're working on a particular piece. And usually something classical, well, not true. There's a lot of pop singers who are bringing a lot more staccato in. But we're going to do a similar 5-tone scale here, and we're going to add this glottal onset at the top. And then we're going to smoothly sing through the rest of the scale until the very end. It's going to sound something like this. I'm going to just change to an E vowel. Really choose whatever vowel you want. This video is not on the vowels, so have a ball. E. Again, if you want to take that up the octave for your own voice, feel free to do that. E. E. Focus focusing on the starting note with a little pop in the throat. E, E. Good. And just to challenge it, how lightly, how crisp, how clean can we make that sound? E. E. Fantastic. Well, guys, I hope that gives you something a little to practice just about glottal onset and a potential way to start making sound, whether you're singing or talking. All right. All right. That's it from me. It's so good to engage with YouTube again. It's been a while, like I said. Hope you guys are well. Stay well if you can. Do all the things that you can do for you, your family, others, the world, please. And I'll talk to you soon. Keep practicing. Bye.